Does one of them have an old man's name?
Yeah.
What is it, Charlie or George?
Oh my God, stop.
What is it?
That was weird.
What is it?
Oh my God. His name is Charlie.
Oh,
But we call him Charles.
absolutely. So it's just Marley's way of saying I'm at home now. I'm with Charlie.
Welcome back to the Talk Your Tail Off podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa, more commonly known as Girl with the Dogs. And for today's episode, we're going to be tapping into our intuitive side. Today's guest is a psychic medium, and she'll be bringing us messages from our pets from beyond the Rainbow Bridge. But before we get started, I'd like to encourage you all to join this community by hitting that subscribe button. And if you're interested in the pet grooming products that I know and love, you can check out my website, girlwiththedogs.com, and use code TALKTAIL for 10% off your first order. Now let's dive in to today's episode. All right, ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, Lynn. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk about two of my favorite things, the other side and pets.
I'm excited to have you, and I'll be honest, normally I have a script and I have a bunch of questions, but you are an odd case, and I really don't have any questions.
I've heard that before.
I don't even know where to begin. So I guess we will start with what got you into this? How did you learn you could do this?
Oh, okay. What I love about it is that everybody can do it.
Okay.
It's not a gift. I will never call it a gift. It's a skill. And like any skill, you can develop it. So we're all born with it, but we get used to being told what to do and how to do it, and we lose it. But for me personally, it was when I was about 12 or 13, and my bed would shake, like exorcist level shake. And that was at the time in the 80s when that movie was out. And so, of course, I'm freaking out a little bit. It happened 3 nights in a row till I finally said, okay, how do I stop this? And a little boy walked up to my bed, and I still remember he had brown curly hair and beige clothes, but I could see through him. And he said, my daddy killed us all, and then he killed himself. Can you help us get there? I didn't see where there was. I can only assume now it was the light, the other side. I said I didn't know how. He said he would help me, so he did. They all crossed over. He came back and said, thank you so much. And I have a gift for you. And it's the 80s. I'm a teenager thinking I'm going to get an Atari or a Nintendo. But it was being able to do this more strongly, very, very specific, very meaningful things. But then, you discover boys and stuff, and you don't do that.
So that sounds terrifying.
It was and it wasn't.
I probably would have nightmares for the rest of my life.
Yeah. What's strange, I get it. What's strange is I didn't. It was strangely calm. I actually thought it was my dog under my bed, bouncing the bed around. So I checked, but it wasn't. So it was just this little fella trying to get my attention.
But still, a little boy approaching you and telling you that his father killed everyone.
Yeah. I know. I still can't to this day figure out why I wasn't terrified.
So did you tell your parents about this when this happened?
Goodness, no.
You didn't tell them anything?
I didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew. Do you know what would have been done to me? They would have got me a nice little white jacket that made me hug myself.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely back then. For sure. Okay, so then how did you continue using it? And, when did you start your business, basically?
So I ignored it all, as a teenager would. And I went to school. I became a teacher. And it's interesting teaching a classroom of, say, 25, 30 kids and their grandmother and their aunt and their this and their that. And I taught for about 15 years, and the government changed, job got deemed redundant. So I thought, why don't I try this? I've been able to do it forever. I do it for my friends and family. And within 3 months, I didn't have to go back to teaching, and that was in 2005. And I'm proud to say I've never had to advertise, and I have clients. I could have clients every day of the week.
Word of mouth.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So how far out do you book typically?
Typically, right now I'm just going month by month because I don't know what the next month is going to bring because we're doing some traveling. But typically, I stop my wait list at about a year and a half. Like I stop booking at a year and a half because I just start to feel bad that I can't get people in.
Yeah.
But that's why every Tuesday on Instagram, I do Intuit Tuesday. So I do free live readings. So if you can't get in to see me, at least you can come and ask a question.
Okay. So here's another question for you.
Okay.
So when you started dating and you told people that you can do this, I would love to know a lot of their reactions.
A lot of times you'd get, okay, okay. You don't get a lot of words.
No.
You get a lot of stuttering. So I wouldn't tell anybody. It took me a long time to actually tell people what I could do. And up until, I'd say maybe even 10 years ago, I still told people I was a teacher. Then I changed it to I'm a counselor. And then I thought, screw that. I'm really good at what I do. And I'm proud of what I do and how many people I help. I'm a psychic medium.
Give me an example of some of the readings maybe that came through before you really started to actually do it. Because I'm going to assume that based off of, well, I've been to you before myself.
Right.
But also based off of shows and stuff like that I've watched, I'm going to assume that sometimes you get messages and you don't like maybe know who they're for. Or
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Because when you're not in control of it, when you're not doing it in a focused way, it just comes in. Because it's like radio waves or TV signals. The information's around all the time. So if you're especially intuitive, you pick up on everything from you don't know where. But now that you're more focused, it comes in. But I'd be sitting with, say, a friend. I remember this one time and I was sitting with my friend and she had, beautiful long hair like you. And I looked over, you're welcome. I looked over and I said, "You're getting your hair cut real short, huh?" And she said, "Yeah, tomorrow." Why? Because what I saw when I looked at her was her hair went whoop, right up to her chin. So it's just these random, very quick, very quiet thoughts or visions that people should really pay attention to because we tend to discount them or we think it's our imagination or worry takes over, which is even worse.
pets, where do pets come into play with all of this?
Pets, because they're just the best. They're better than people most days, I would
I
say.
would agree.
And what the big thing that I would like people to know is that their pets, it doesn't matter if it's a dog, a cat, a hamster, a rabbit. If you took care of an animal and you love that animal crosses over beautifully, but they never leave their human families. They come back and they stay with you. Their heaven, whatever you love is your heaven, and they love you the most. So you are their heaven.
As you know, I have a dog that passed.
Yes.
So I don't really know how to continue with this interview without starting there. So may I ask you for a reading if there's something that she can
Oh, of
she has to
course.
say.
So what would you say her full name is?
Zoe.
Zoe. Is this a shepherd?
Yeah.
Because when I think about her, I get a little dizzy.
Well, when she passed, she was a bit wobbly.
Oh, that might be why.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you have Ace too, and I remember when Ace was just a puppy. So
Yeah.
the good old days
Yeah,
of Mr.
Ace.
Cranky Pants.
He's getting old.
Yeah. So Zoe, now I know we all have nicknames for our pets, but did you have a totally different name for her in the beginning before you got her?
Yes. That
Because-
is weird.
Because she's saying, "I'm glad you didn't name me that."
Yep. Her name was originally, I think, Chloe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So see what I was just going to start to write?
CH. That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name was Chloe.
Yeah,
I
and-
changed it.
And this, for people that are listening and not actually watching, what I do when I'm doing readings is if you're talking, but I'm getting the message at the same time, I have to write it down because I'll lose it. Because that just happens because it comes in so quickly and quietly. So she was starting to write down CH, and you said it. So and she's still kicking
weird.
around. So she prefers Zoe. So good job.
Well, Chloe is a cat name, in my opinion. So,
That's a good point.
yeah.
That's a good point. That's and going back to one of the things you said when I do talk to the animals, you mentioned the Rainbow Bridge
Yep.
before. And everybody, it's a beautiful story. It doesn't actually exist.
I didn't think that it did,
Yeah.
but it's a nice way of
I
thinking
love
about it.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so beautiful. And every time I see a pet or a pet comes in, people say, "Well, how can my pet talk?" My pet can't talk. Absolutely not. But language doesn't even exist on the other side because it's projected thought. So the dog will put thoughts in my mind, and my mind, because I'm an English medium, will hear them in the English language. If I was French speaking, I'd hear them in French. So they will always come in, give me pictures, give me sounds, and give me very meaningful and specific things that nobody would know except this dog or cat or hamster.
Well, for people listening, nobody would know that my dog's name was supposed to be Chloe. I don't think I've ever told anybody that before.
Oh, that's except for Zoe Chloe.
Well, yeah, she knew that because we called her, well, my mom named her Chloe. So we called her Chloe for a while, and that's why I changed it to Zoe because it sounded similar because I thought Chloe was a stupid name.
Fair. Okay.
No offense to anybody who named their dog Chloe.
It's a cat name.
To me, it was a cat name.
That's okay. No, then that's just her saying, I'm here. I'm here with you. Did she have a wonky eye?
She did one time, and it's funny that you said that because I just told that story the other day.
Oh, and I love that you told me that because they like to prove that they're with you. Like my thing is you're never alone. They're always with you, whether they're dog spirits or people spirits. So they'll always mention something that came up in the last 24, 48 hours to prove that they were just there. And because you just had that conversation, she's saying, I was there. I heard the conversation.
Yeah, that's funny. I just told that story to my boyfriend the other day. So for those listening, my dog ran outside one morning, very early morning, and it was dark out. And I heard this weird screaming noise. And I ran outside, and my shepherd came up to me, and her one pupil was dilated really big.
Oh, dear.
And then her other pupil was normal. And I looked at her face. It was very creepy looking. And I thought, what the hell is that? Yeah. But it turns out she attacked a rabbit, and the rabbit poked her in the eye. So she ended up being fine, but I just told that story literally maybe yesterday or the day before to my boyfriend.
Aw, so she was listening.
Yeah. We were talking about her a lot lately. So I was looking, Ace is getting old.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to pass soon, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I better get together a bunch of pictures and videos now because when he dies, I'm not going to be able to go and search for them.
No.
So I'm looking through, and obviously I see a lot of pictures of Zoe too, and my previous dog that I had prior to going through a separation who has also passed away. So it was bittersweet.
Yeah. And they're always there. They're there with you in your happiest moments, your saddest moments, your most boring moments. And it's just so sweet. And just a very quick story. My little dog, Frankie, that you know,
yes,
because you groomed him way back in the beginning, and he passed a couple of years ago. We were traveling down south. He had passed at the time. And I had nodded off in the car. I wasn't driving. I was a passenger. And I had nodded off. And I almost felt a little weight. Frankie was all of 6 pounds, maybe 5. And I felt this weight on my lap. And I was like, I kind of woke up and thinking, this feels like Frankie. And so in my head, and this is what I do with all my animals, Frankie, if this is you, let me know and make it really obvious. And people can say that to their pets, to their human spirits. And as soon as I opened my eyes, we passed a car dealership, and it was called Franklin's, whatever, Chevrolet or whatever. And we used to call him Franklin, Frankie, Frankenstein, Franklin. And I was like, oh my goodness, he's just showing off now. He's here.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not looking forward to the next one.
No. It's the price of love. They should live longer than us, or as long as us.
Why can't they live as long as parrots? Why do we need a parrot
Why
to live
do we
that
need
long?
a bird?
No offense. I really love birds. Maybe one day I'll have a parrot, but why can't my dog live that long?
I don't know. I've seen those memes about them, those little cartoons. It's because they just live and love in the present moment, so they don't have all the BS and baggage we deal with. So they're done their journey a lot sooner than we would be.
What else can you tell us about pets and, where they go or anything that you think is relevant?
Pets go to the same part of the other side that we do. So when you come home and your dog is the first one to greet you at the door with his tail wagging, well, down the road when you cross over, that dog, those dogs from this life and any other life you've had, if you believe in past lives, will be running toward those proverbial pearly gates to say, welcome home. So they will be in the same part of heaven. So you get to spend eternity with your little guys and gals, your little furry doggies.
I mean, that sounds like heaven to me.
It
but-
absolutely is.
So Melvin is a bit of a strange little dog. And sometimes I will find him staring up at the ceiling or barking at absolutely nothing. He's the only one that seems to be that way out of all of them. So I always laugh and say that he sees a ghost. I've honestly thought that I do have a bit of a ghost in my current house. So you tell me, do pets see spirits?
Absolutely. Because they don't have that stuff we have to deal with. So they're very free and open, just like a 2 or 3-year-old child sees them. So we do have to take into consideration, though, that dogs and cats, they see and smell and hear things we don't. So they might be hearing something that's going on just outside the wall and staring at that, or smelling something and they're looking around that we just can't perceive. However, if little Melvin is just barking at nothing, as long as you are comfortable in your mind or very quietly say, whoever's here, could you please walk into that room or walk over into the living room or go up to the ceiling and see if he tracks that movement with his eyes and head. Because then you know, okay, someone's here. Or alternatively, you can say, whoever's here, can you please touch Melvin, tickle his tail?
Oh my God, that he will jump through the roof.
Right, right. So sometimes it has happened. It has happened. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. I always say go take out the reality of it first. Don't go ghost right away because that doesn't even make any sense. But I do believe they can see them a lot faster than we can. And Rosie has seen them. That's my dog. She has seen them. And we have this weird ghost dog in my house that doesn't look like any of my past dogs. And one time I was sitting in my kitchen and we have a big patio door. And I looked and I saw this white dog run across the door. And then I saw Rosie look at the white dog run across the door. So I thought, oh, there's a possum or something in the backyard. I go and look and there's nothing. And I swear I see it go into back behind the garbage cans, and I let Rosie out. She goes straight in that direction. So I was like, so there's something going on. But animals are the best. I've even seen 2 killer whales in my career come in from trainers that had trained them at SeaWorld or Marineland.
And did you have the names of these trainers?
Of the whale?
The whales, but not the trainers?
Well, I didn't know they were trainers at the time. And I'm sitting in my little office, and this killer whale just comes right in. I said, oh, okay, why is there a killer whale in the room? Did you go whale watching? What's going on? Oh, no, I used to train whales at Marineland. So it was like, oh, and so you don't have to be psychic to assume that the whale's name was probably Nootka or Kuna or something like that. So I do the best I can with those names. But it's really cute. If you love them, they love you back and they stay with you. And they're in heaven in the exact same space you are. What's good about heaven, there's no mosquitoes. So that's awesome.
So mosquitoes don't go to heaven?
Nope.
So where do mosquitoes go?
Well, we won't. Starts with an H. No, no. Those I've always tried to figure that out, and of course, there's no scientific answer for any of this.
No.
But I've kind of whittled it down to, I'm not saying mosquitoes don't have a soul. I don't think they do. But if it's something that can't give or receive love, it doesn't go to heaven. It's like a one-shot deal.
People talk a lot about heaven. So
Yes.
Are you calling it heaven because to you that's what it would be? Or is that actually what it's called?
That's a great question. It actually doesn't have a name. It's what we've called it.
The other side.
The other side. You could call it the other side. You could call it heaven. You could say the other realm. You can call it whatever you want. But the most commonly used term is heaven. All dogs go to heaven. Right?
Yeah. That was a movie.
Disney movie, I
Oh,
think.
I loved that movie.
Yeah.
God, I've seen them all. What else did you say you wanted to?
Oh, that's a lot of people are very concerned about what to do with their dog's cremated remains. they don't know what to do. They say it's sitting on in an urn on my dresser or my mantle. What do I do with it? What does my dog want me to do with it? Your dog, not that they don't care, they just don't care what you do with it. They want you to do whatever makes you happy. So if you're happy with it sitting on the mantle, leave it on the mantle. If you want to make it into a piece of art, make it into a piece of art. If you get them cremated or buried, or if you get them cremated and don't have their remains with you, it doesn't matter because they're with you anyways. It's almost as though if I took this shirt off, well, I'm not going to do that, but if I was done with this shirt, if it was good enough, I'd donate it. If it was garbage, I'd throw it in the garbage. But I would never think about it again. And that's how dogs feel about their little urn of ashes. They don't care. They know they're just full of energy. And they're usually back, I don't want to say in like the velociraptor puppy stage, but they're in that really good doggy energy. They're not old, they're not super young, but they're full of energy. And they're at their most prime when it comes to health and personality and senses and all that kind of stuff. So you get your dog back.
Well, I have Zoe cremated. And Ace, it's funny that you mentioned that because I've been thinking, I don't know what to do with Ace because I don't think I can cremate him. I don't think I can. I think I have to bury him. I don't know why I feel that way. I mean, Zoe was obviously a big dog. And if we were to bury her, we would have to dig a big, giant hole.
Right.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But with Ace, he's literally right now 2 pounds. So I've been thinking, I don't think I can let him go to be cremated. Like, I think I need to know where he is.
That's fair.
At all times. But I'm going away this summer and I'm terrified of going away because I'm terrified of leaving him for a week. I think you went through that too, unless he died before you went.
No, you actually helped me through that. When we were about to put Frankie down, he was I swear that dog was 20. I don't know.
He was old.
They
adopted him, so that's why Lynn doesn't know his age.
Exactly. So, and Vanessa, you actually helped me through, should we put him down or do I go away in 2 weeks and let my daughter deal with it? And you helped me through that. And we did end up putting him down. We had the vet come to our house, which honestly, for me, was so much better an experience than going to the vet, and for him too. But they don't care if you put them down. A lot of people are concerned. I don't know if I should put him down. He's going to be so mad at me. Is he still mad at me in heaven? Is he still upset with me? No, because you did what you felt was right at the time. And they're like, it's fine, Mama. I'll see you when you get here.
Yeah.
So they're totally cool with being cremated or buried or whatever you want to do. And if you do bury Ace in your yard and you move, and for some reason you don't take him with you, it doesn't matter.
Well, that won't happen.
I know.
If I bury Ace in the yard, that house is going to forever be mine. So-
Absolutely. Or you somehow take him with you. I'm not sure what you would bury him in to do that, but he will, if you move, they'll find you.
Yeah.
You won't get a zombie dog. You'll just get your cute little spirit dog. It's not Pet Cemetery.
So I'm going through the same thing where he's not at end of life stage.
Right.
He's not at a stage where, okay, yeah, like maybe it'd be a good idea to put him down. He's still obviously playing ball. I just posted him playing ball yesterday or this morning.
Aw.
So he's still got energy and stuff, but he's not well. So I'm kind of worried, like if I leave, I don't know if he'll be okay without me there because he's very like attached to me. So I'm like, if I leave, is this dog going to stop eating and then croak while I'm gone?
When are you going away?
In a couple of weeks.
He'll be okay.
He better be okay, Lynn.
What's wrong? She's going to hunt me down.
Yes.
What's wrong with his ears?
He has no hair on his ears.
He has no hair on
They're
his ears?
completely bald.
Come on.
They used to be floppy. And the only reason why they were floppy was because he had hair on them. Now that they're bald, they stand straight up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What's super cute, this is coming from Zoe, because all of your dogs that have crossed over, of course, live with you. And they like the new dogs, or the ones they knew. So she's kind of saying, there's something wrong with Ace's ears. She's just looking at him like, what's going on with this dog's ears?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot going on with that dog right now.
I can imagine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but they do. Your spirit dogs will, or angel dogs, whatever you want to call them, will always hang out with your new dogs. And a lot of people think, what if I get a new dog? Is my dead dog going to be upset? Absolutely not, because they'll be like, hey, a new friend, yay.
Well, that's good. Can you tell Zoe to let Lupa know that she needs to behave better?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I can tell Zoe all I want. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I say that all the time. I love Lupa, but she is completely different from my previous shepherd. Nowhere near the same. Everything is different about them. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. Because you can say you can give Zoe a command and say, okay, Zoe, make Lupa walk, like, let's do this. And she might be able to. You never know. I've never actually tried that, but it's worth a shot.
Well, Zoe was an angel, so apparently she still is.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Little doggies with wings. And they are just the purest souls. And they do not, people that believe in reincarnation, do dogs reincarnate? Of course. But they're not going to come back until you get over there. So you're not going to get over there and miss them. What's a very quick story. I grew up with a dog named Jake, a little lab cross, probably about 30, 40 pounds. And my son, so he died when my son was about 3 months old. I don't want to say thank goodness, but thank goodness, because my son's like deathly allergic to dogs.
Oh, God.
Yeah, great. So he didn't get a chance to get too close to him because he was only 3 months old. So no crawling and no trips to the emergency room. Fast forward to when my son was about 4 or 5 years old, and he's laying in bed with me. And I swear I heard that little tick, 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 tick down the hallway. And we didn't have any pets at the time. And I thought, is that you, Jake? Because that's the only pet I had ever had, except for hamsters and gerbils and all those. But I said, Jake, come on up on the bed. So I kind of tapped the bed like you would with a dog and said, come on up on the bed. And I felt like he hit the bed, but I'm thinking, this is my imagination. So Jordan was asleep at this time. I felt like Jake crawled up right between us, right at our heads, like they like to do. Jordan wakes up out of nowhere, starts sneezing, coughing, rubbing his eyes. I'm like, oh, great. You're allergic to dead dogs too? Fantastic.
Can't even have the dog visit.
Can't even have the dog visit. But it's so interesting to watch them give you signs. And a lot of people, though, you just have to be careful about what you ask for, because dogs have dog skills just like people spirits have people spirit skills. So if you say to your dog, okay, today show me a zebra, maybe your dog's not capable of doing that. So I always say, let me know you're around and make it really obvious. So that leaves it open-ended for any skills, spirit skills that they've acquired to connect with you. It's almost like if you ask me to do algebra right now, not a chance. So if you ask me to write a story, sure, I can do that. So it's just one of those things where they have skills too. And you could say that to your human spirits too. Just show me you're around, let me know you're around, and make it really obvious. But don't give them today or in 2 hours, because time doesn't exist on the other side. So I sometimes say, before I go to sleep tonight. And one time I was driving down the highway and I felt like Casey, my other dog, was sitting in the front seat with me. And it's like, okay, I'm losing my mind. What's going on? So I said, Casey, what am I going to see in the next 3 kilometers to prove that you're here? And he said, oranges. Oranges? What the heck is going on? And it didn't make any sense at the time. So within a minute, I passed 4 Florida license plates with oranges on them, which I couldn't have seen because they were way ahead of me. And it was like, oh, oranges. So it's kind of cute. You just have to leave your mind totally open and accept whatever random, quirky, weird thought comes in.
All right. Well, Ace better be sending me messages from the other side. I'm going to lose it when that dog goes.
I'm sure you will. Or you just call me and we will talk about, we will get Ace in and he will be probably as big as he thinks he is.
Yeah, he thinks he's pretty big.
Yeah. But that's always, it's so hard. And we get the hard part of that. But like I said, they never leave us. They're always with us.
Well, on that note,
Mhm.
I wonder if you're open to this.
What's that?
I have a friend of mine who recently lost a dog.
Oh dear.
I'd like to call her
Sure.
and see if you have something you can tell her that could maybe make her feel a lot better.
I will try my best.
Okay. Well, I mean, don't tell her lies, but to make
No.
her feel better. But
That's my problem. I can't lie. If I lie, which I wouldn't do, or make stuff up, the whole system shuts down. I can't
don't
get
like it.
anything. Yeah,
all right, I'm going to call her. Hopefully she answers.
you would hope so.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
All right, I am here with Lynn, the psychic medium.
Oh my goodness, this is so exciting.
This is Kaitlyn. The viewers, you've seen my channel before. You've met Kaitlyn. Kaitlyn recently lost a pet, so we are going to tap in and see if her dog has anything to say.
Okay. Hi,
I hope
Kaitlyn.
she does.
Me too.
If I don't, you call me later. Hi, Kaitlyn.
Hi.
Okay, is that okay?
Yep.
That's clear? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. So, was there a hair issue or a fur issue? Sorry.
She had thyroid disease, so, but she never really had issues with her fur. But I think what maybe she's trying to tell you is she had these earmuffs. There was like hair on her ears that always crimped. And so actually it's funny because my husband said the other night that we should have cut her earmuffs off
To keep them.
before she passed so we could have kept her earmuffs.
Oh, that's her hair issue.
Yeah, so that's probably what she's trying to tell you.
That makes sense. Okay. So so she wasn't a curly haired dog? So
No. I wouldn't say she's curly haired.
you're driving, right? That's what you said? So
Yeah.
you don't currently have a beer in your hand, correct?
No.
Okay. Okay, what is it about? I know a lot of dogs like beer, so I don't want to go, that's too obvious. If a psychic ever gives you something that's so vague and obvious, just pack up your bags and get out of their office. But what is it about beer that she would be talking about? Have you been drinking beer or like a brown drink?
Yes, iced teas.
Oh, that's okay. That will do. Okay, because she's just letting you know she's there all the time. She's like, that's a lot of, and what I misinterpreted, I apologize, as beer. She's just showing me the brown drink. She said, that's a lot, Mom. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And is there a Paula or a Paul?
Yeah.
Who's
Oh
the-
my gosh.
who's-
Stop it.
I will not stop it. Who's that?
I can't. So I work at a animal hospital, and one of the doctors that works there is named Paula.
Oh, so she comes to work with you now.
Well, she did a lot towards the end of her life, obviously, because so maybe she's thinking of like the doctor that I work with, Dr.
Oh,
Paula.
absolutely. And you just said you brought her there near the end of her life?
Well, she obviously came there quite a bit, but she came more often towards the end of her life.
Of
yes.
course, of course. So that's kind of cool. So here's one of those things where if you're at a medium and they say, "Oh, you brought your dog everywhere with you." Of course I'm going to bring my dog everywhere with me when they're at the end of their life, but for her to mention Paul or Paula, sorry, it's her way of being very specific and very very meaningful, saying, "I'm right there, Mama." And I remember that.
Aw.
Kaitlyn, are you limping right now? Are you having a problem with your foot or your knee?
No, but I think what she's trying to tell you is that she was limping before she passed away.
Oh, it's her. Okay. Because when she's with me, she's walking around, but she's given me a little bit of a limp. So I thought she was directing at you. So I apologize for misinterpreting that. This is a strong little doggy.
Yeah, she was.
What was her name?
Marley.
Oh, that's a great name. So who's like Ava or Yvonne?
That's my aunt.
Living or gone?
My aunt is still here.
Okay, that's okay. Have you heard about her lately? Seen her? Talked about her?
She reached out to me when Marley passed away.
Aw. So Marley's just saying, I was there. I heard it. And it's
Really?
probably not an aunt you hear from very often. And they just want to prove,
Yeah.
they just want to prove that they're with you and bring up something that might not be very commonplace. So, and people always wonder, they wonder, can my pet communicate right away, or is there a process they have to go through on the other side? Absolutely not. They are there right away. They are,
Crazy.
especially if they're really ill, when they sleep, they can leave their body and just be in spirit. So they're getting things ready, which is cool. But Kaitlyn, just know that she's still around. Are you sure your feet are okay? How are your toenails? She keeps showing me.
Well, like I always had issues like with my feet. Like last summer, I sprained my ankle, and just like I've always had issues with my feet. So maybe that's what it is.
Because that's probably because so I would, not that Marley's a doctor by any means,
Yeah.
or if I get really silly, I could say a dogter. It would be, she's just saying that's going to be your issue this year. So, Mama, I'm with you. I'll be with you through dealing with your foot problems. Is she worried? No. But you're just going to have to deal with it more than you would normally.
Huh. That's interesting.
Do you have a baby?
No, I don't have children.
Are you pregnant?
No, thankfully.
Wow, she just yelled at me, Vanessa.
We just had this discussion. She's like,
I
no
don't
kids.
want kids.
Oh, you just had this discussion with her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why she's bringing it up. Because she's like, it's just like Marley keeps talking about baby, baby, baby. Now, Kaitlyn, honestly, if you do not want kids, you are going to have to duct tape your legs shut because there's one coming. Because it feels like, yeah, it feels like not Zoe, Marley's already met your little one on the other side. So just be careful.
Oh no.
I know, kids are awful. Dogs are better. I'm just kidding. Now, do you have a pierced nose?
I used to, yeah.
Okay. Did something just happen with it?
No, but I keep saying I want to get it re-pierced.
That's what it is. Okay. So she's probably heard that conversation. So she's listening in.
I was just having this conversation with my best friend Bethany that I want to get my nose re-pierced. So that might be it.
You've got the nosiest dead dog tonight. I think that's what it is. But keep an eye out for something about the water that will remind you of her.
Yeah, I know exactly what she's saying right now.
Oh, are you okay to share that with us?
Yeah, so this coming weekend I'm going to a cottage, and it was Marley's favorite thing to do was go to the cottage because all she would do was swim the whole time she was up there. It was her favorite thing to do. So I feel like because I was so devastated when we had to put her down, she couldn't make it to the cottage one last time. And I was thinking about spreading her ashes when I go up north in the water because that was her favorite thing to do.
Oh, that might be the thing in the water, like the something about the water that reminds you of her. It's just her.
Yeah, she loves swimming.
Oh, sorry I misinterpreted that. That's a very cool answer. I love that.
This whole episode is making me cry.
I know. We're all getting a little teary over here.
Yeah. I miss her so much.
Of course you do. Of course. I know the feeling all too well. But you have those two pugs to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Does one of them have an old man's name?
Yeah.
What is it, Charlie or George?
Oh my God, stop.
What is it?
That was weird.
What is it?
Oh my God. His name is Charlie.
Oh,
We call him Charles.
absolutely. So it's just Marley's way of saying I'm at home now. I'm with Charlie. So
Really?
yeah, so it's cute because we've not met, have we?
No.
No, I've never met you ever.
No. So this is just like, honestly, people are saying, oh, they probably planned this or whatever. We've not met. Was kind of a spur of the moment thing. Thank you, Vanessa, for putting us in context. Now I'm going to cry. Actually, I won't cry. But no, he's good. He's hanging out with Charlie. And so is it a boy and girl pug?
No, I have 2 boys.
So is the other boy's name kind of a girl's name? No?
Maybe. It's a food name.
What is it?
Meatball.
Oh, that's not a girl's name.
No.
That's not a girl's name.
So,
Okay,
I
so
guess it could go 2 ways, though.
I don't know. That for me that would be reaching, but just see what comes up with the very, very feminine girl dog's name. I'd say in the next 3 or 4 days.
Oh, gosh. Don't tell me I'm getting another
No.
dog.
No, you're having a baby.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding, just kidding.
It's even worse.
I don't blame you. But thank you for talking with me tonight. It was a pleasure to meet you and Marley.
No, thank you
You-
for everything. That
Oh.
was beautiful. Thank you.
You are very welcome. I'm going to hand the phone back to Vanessa now. You have a good night, hon.
Thanks, Kaitlyn. I hope that helped heal your heart a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy that she came and said hi. So thank you for that.
No problem. Well, I'll keep you in the loop if we have her on the show again, and I'll call you again.
Yes, please do. That was awesome.
Okay, bye, Kaitlyn. Safe drive home. Well, that brings me a little bit of comfort, but not a lot.
I know. That's the thing is you'll never get their physical presence again.
Yeah.
And that's what we miss. And it's hard. You can't replace it with anything. You really can't.
Ace is a one-of-a-kind
Oh,
dog.
yes.
I always say I love my Pomeranians.
Mhm.
Melvin also is one of a kind. But Gidget, there's lots of Gidgets. I've met lots of Gidgets,
Interesting.
that have that bouncy, happy personality, but I have never met another Ace.
No.
No.
He's a very unique little doggy soul.
All right. Well, I think we are at our hour. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I just want people to know that they're never alone, that their pets are always with them. And if they're worried about who they're with or what they're doing, they're right there with you. But when they scamper off and go to play in a meadow on the other side, they're with your grandma or they're with grandpa or some friends. So they're never alone, or they're with other dogs, their siblings that they were born in the same litter with. But talk to them, pretend pet them, and the more you acknowledge them without being over the top, they'll show up. They'll show up and let you know they're there.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Lynn Nicholls _intuition expert, also the same name on Facebook. But what I would do is go to lynnichols.com and click the links through there, only because there's so many scammers and fakes out there that this one will actually take you right to my pages. And like I said before, I do a live every Tuesday called Intuit Tuesday, and I answer your questions live. I'm booked till the end of the year for private readings, but I do group events, and we have lots of fun. Lots of bigger animals can come in, which is fun.
Awesome. So I will have her socials linked below as well so that you have the proper links. But that's it, everyone, for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week for another episode of Talk Your Tail Off.